Welcome to our week 12, July the 27th.
Yes.
Stand up for gray area. Got sickness running through UAT. So some of the team aren't going to be here today. As usual, we're going to talk about what we're going to work on today, any roadblocks we have, and what we worked on since we last met. And we're also going to talk a little bit about what our final preparations for the build review next week are going to be, so that we can kind of wrap up the semester and end on a positive note. So, Marcus, why don't you start us off?
My name is Marcus Escobar. I'm in design and art. This week I had continued work on the military truck, and I hope to continue work on it today. Not sure if I'll be able to finish it in time for the final build review. I'm going to try to push through it as fast as I can.
Gary in motion capture. This week I finished up Soldier, but I've now started working on the Gray again. I'm having to go back and kind of work him because I needed to make him work in root motion. So I've been going back and fixing all of his animations.
Hey, I'm Travis, game design lead. So I've been mostly messing around with the crash site, trying to smooth out the environment so that it would be easier for the NPCs to walk around in, because a lot of the characters pathing is just kind of getting stuck on stuff.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying me, because I fixed you an hour ago and now you were broken again. So yeah, it's fun. And that's it.
All right.
Zachary World Programming. I changed out the sound for soldier footsteps on gravel and dirt, specifically dirt, because I realized if I have to listen to it anymore, I'm going to kill myself. Because as he said, they get stuck on things, which means that dirt sound effect plays a lot, and it's very loud, until I figured out that I hadn't turned on spatial sound, which is why it was so loud from no matter what distance. And I also made a slight change to the random audio player, so that way it spaces out the random bits a bit more, which isn't really that random, but that way there isn't just big clumps of them together anymore. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, semi-random feels more random than actually random.
Yeah.
Donald Shep is the project lead. I'll talk to what the people who aren't here are working on. So Frank has finished up all of his work on outlining the influence system and the percent chance of different types of hallucinations moving NPCs of certain states from state to state. And Ariana is continuing to work on her hanger model, finishing that up. I think she's going to be moving to texturing soon. Kylie is continuing to build assets, working with Travis and Deshaun to figure out any foliage assets, and as well as Marcos, any foliage assets that are still required, as well as any other odds and ends that we'll need for connecting the two areas. Wyatt has finished up everything with targeting, and he's going to be moving on to whatever Charles told him to move on to, which I can't speak to, but Charles can, and it's a good thing Charles is here because he can talk about what he's working on.
I'm still continuing with AI stuff. I got the algorithms for movement completed, but now I gotta work on all of the decision-making aspects of the artificial intelligence, the sensory stuff, sight, sound, things like that. And then just how the AI is gonna decide where to move so it can actually utilize the movement algorithms. As far as what I'm gonna be assigning to Wyatt, I'm gonna have to take a look at what we have before I can say what he's going to be working on. So, okay.
And then Mari created a couple of initial ideas for what the cursor and the interaction, those menus are going to look like for the UI. She's getting a little bit of feedback from Doug and Daryl right now on some minor changes she can make, and then she's going to be moving forward and creating the assets for the interaction menu once you're locked on to a object. And then either myself or her will probably be implementing those pieces into Unity, so that way we actually have the UI art in there in the in-game scene. hit everybody that's not here. And then so what I'm going to be working on is I'm going to create wrappers for all of our screenshots and videos, so that way when we show it off next week, we'll have kind of nice visuals to pair up with that, as well as I'm going to pull everybody's work from over the semester, so that way we can show the progress over time. So that way we have some, older pieces when they were being made earlier, and some pieces, and then the final pieces, so we can show progress and how the build has changed over time. So that's going to take a bunch of messing with the repos and getting the right assets, and then some video editing. And then also we're going to be doing a big review of the crash site, so that way any spots that look wrong to the group we can point out and Travis can touch up, just so that way that has another cycle of iteration on it, just because that's kind of our capstone for the semester, is moving around in that environment. And Deshaun, I forgot to mention Deshaun because he's not here. He is continuing to work on pulling in Marcos's assets into the ranch, placing those down and building out what that environment's going to look like. And that's pretty much it for this stand-up.